Hi, this video we're going to do the only in the spotlight that's in chapter 5 of the book we're using here. And this is going to be a conversion program. We're going to use methods in here. We're going to create some methods. So using value returning methods, your friend Michael runs a catering company. Some of the ingredients that his recipes require are measured in cups. When he goes to the grocery store to buy those ingredients, however, they are sold only by the fluid ounce. He has asked you to write a simple program that converts cups to fluid ounces. So the algorithm that was developed here is to get the number of cups from the user. Then we need to convert the number of cups to fluid ounces and then display the result. So from the algorithm, we came up with three methods that we're going to create on this. Get cups. This one prompts the user to enter the number of cups and then returns that value back to the main program, or to the calling method, which would be main, and that's going to be a double. And then cups to ounces accepts the number of cups as an argument and then returns the equivalent number of fluid ounces as a double. And then display results will display a message indicating the results of the conversion. It accepts accepts arguments for the cups and the ounces to be able to do that. So let's go ahead and get going with this. So this is a pretty simple program. It's uses three methods in here, so it kind of gives you some experience with creating your own methods on here. So I'm going to open up the folder, which is my cup converter here. And then I'm going to do a new file, which is going to be cup converter. And then don't forget the Java. Okay, so this is going to have inputs, so we're going to need to import our scanner. Then our class header. And then our main. Okay, so a little background on this. Um, when I was in school learning programming, one of the languages that we used was called Pascal, not used much anymore. Um, Pascal was a compiler type program. So after you wrote the program, then it compiled it. The problem with Pascal was that anything that you were calling, if you were calling something else, the calling method had to be before the call. So all the methods had to be above main. And if you had a method that was calling another method, that other method had to be above the one that was calling it. Java, Visual C Sharp, Python, that's not the case with any of those. But I just thought I brought that up. Most of the time, I will put my methods above main, just because that's the way I learned to do it. This is the way this program is written in the Spotlight, so I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. So in our main, we're going to have two double variables. We're going to have cups, and we're going to have ounces. So then we're going to call our three methods. Cups is going to be equal to get cups. Ounces is going to be equal to cups 2 ounces. And on this one, we're passing in the cups. And then our display results. And we're passing in cups and ounces. Okay, so the first two are value returning methods. So that's why we have a variable there, so we can return the value into a variable. All three of these are, the last one doesn't have that because it's not returning a value. All three of them are underlined in red because we haven't called them yet, or we haven't created them yet. So that's coming up now. So the first one we're going to do is the get cups. So our public static, and we put in double here because we're passing back a double value on that. Now it's going to be underlined here because we haven't, notice it's not up here anymore, but we haven't set up the return statement yet, so it's underlined on that. Okay, we got one global local variable. Double is num cups. And then we've got to create a scanner object. Okay, then we're going to do some print statements to print out instructions on how this is working. First line is going to be, this program converts measurements. Okay, the next one is in cups to fluid ounces. And then we'll start another sentence here for your, oops, there. Reference, the formula is, do a colon after is, and then it's going to be 1 cup equals 8 fluid ounces. Put in a \n for carriage return on that. Okay, now what we need to do is prompt the user and get the value that they enter in. System.out.print, enter the number of cups. And then our num cups going to be equal to keyboard.next double. Once we get the values, then we're going to return num cups. Okay. So now we need to do our next method. Next method is going to be our cups to ounces. Public static double again because we're going to be returning a double. Cups to ounces, passing in num cups. Okay, I think that should be right. Yep, spelled right. We'll see what happens here because I don't understand why this is underlined and that's not. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this here. Oops, wrong thing there. I'm just going to return. Oh, I know what it is, I think. Yeah, num cups times 8.0. We need a double on the front of this. There we go. Okay. So that's all there is to that one. See, that was one of these easy ones that could go into main, but it's a way to be, just to learn how to do this a little bit better here. So we got our last one is our display results. And since we're not returning a value, we use void. So we have double cups and double ounces. So we're going to just print this out. I'm going to do a percent. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. This should be, saw that, this should be printf. We have percent 0.1f cups equals percent 0.1f fluid ounces. And then we'll do a \n for a carriage return on that. And everything looks good, except that's not what I want to do there. We've got to do the quote mark there, then do a comma and come down to the next line. And we're going to do cups, comma, ounces. There. And I don't see anything underlined there, so it looks good. So let's go ahead and test this thing out. Oh, got an error someplace. Let's see. Method display results double is undefined for the type of cup converter. So let's see what I misspelled on there probably. Display results. Let's look up at top here. Yep. Display. There we go. Let's try this again. Okay, so enter the number of cups. We're going to put 2 in, and it comes back and says 2 cups equals 16 fluid ounces. Worked great. So hopefully it's helped you out on understanding methods a little bit more. You had the first method that does not have any parameters and returned a value. Second method accepts an argument for a parameter and then returns a value. And the third one gets 2 values and returns nothing, but displays the results. Okay, so next video.